Okay, so I did a vlog or thing about me talking about when I was a bookworm. Now let's talk about me, how I grew up to be a gamer, casual gamer, now casual gamer. Um, so like my mom introducing me to books or constant reading when I was a kid, my dad pretty much introduced me to video games when I was little. And we like back when I was again grade five, like grade one or two, he actually kind of got me into it. Like we had a Nintendo, and I played occasionally, but not to the extent like I would do later on. So eventually, one day I came home, and we went in our apartment, and I was going into my room, and in my room I see my dad playing a Super Nintendo, which was pretty new at the time. I think I'm pretty sure. Uh, but I remember him playing with the Super Nintendo, and He was playing Super Mario Brothers, but like it was back when like the first three were smushed into like one package. Like it was a one three in one game. Yeah, three in one game, and I actually that's when I started to get interested in video games a little bit. So yeah, my dad got me interested in video games at an early age. So again, my mom with books, my dad with video games, both of which I'm kind of obsessed with. Although books are pretty much yeah, books are kind of on the way. But what happened was like I remember him buying a bunch of games for me for Super Nintendo. Like for Nintendo, we got like the first three Super Mario games separately. Like we had one, two, and three. Although back then I only played like the first one, and I thought, the other two are okay. And so eventually, my dad got me a game which was new at the time called Mortal Kombat. And because I was kind of desensitized in terms of like violence, because I used to read Goosebumps, I used to watch Goosebumps, I used to see violent like cartoon violence. So it's like, oh, I'm desensitized. Then I saw Blood. That one of them do the fatality when I was 6 years old, and my dad was like, "Oh my god!" And I was busy laughing. I was genuinely laughing because it's like, I'm not gonna hurt anybody with this. This is so cartoonish and over the top. I'm not. Even back then, I didn't take Mortal Kombat that seriously. I not only thought it was cool, but I thought it was funny. The fatalities. I think at one point, like in one of the fatalities, one person rips another person's head off, and blood splurted out. And I was like rolling on the floor laughing. And then my dad's like, okay, I'm gonna take this game back. And he exchanged it for a basketball game, I think. But we're gonna get to that basketball game later. 1998, and that was fun. Oh my god. Sorry, my the garage is opening. So yeah, I started kind of going on and off about video games. Like it was mostly school, but I was kind of going on and off about it. So what happened was like eventually like I was kind of into games like N64, PS1 when I was growing up. It's like yeah, these are okay, but I still have my Super Nintendo, which I don't have anymore because my sister put beads in it, but that was years later. So it's like one day I decided to get asked for when I was in the sixth grade in 2002. I wished for a PS2 and I got one. And so the very first game I ever got was uh, what happened was uh, let me see. I don't remember. So the very first game I got was a demo, and this was back when like video game magazines had like demos in the magazines, like games that are coming out eventually. And so I did that. I played that, and eventually, um, I got uh, my very first full game I got was FIFA 2002, which to this day, like I have three copies right now, two in my basement and one on top of this dresser to show like sentimentality reasons. First game is usually like a game that everybody wants to know about or remember. So yeah. What was that? Oh, and back about that basketball game. Um, so the last time I faced against my dad on that basketball game before the Super Nintendo got ruined was I was playing as the Atlanta Hawks and he was playing as another team, and I was beating him by about 80 points, and it was like the third quarter. I don't think we ever finished that game, but I remember clearly like I was scoring all the points with Mookie Blaylock, which is actually hilarious in hindsight because eventually I got into Pearl Jam, and they were originally called Mookie Blaylock, and that's actually pretty funny in hindsight. I don't know why I actually kept choosing him as the go-to player, but I still liked it. And so what ended up happening was eventually I got a PS2 and I got a FIFA 2002, and still getting demos. You know, video game magazines had a demo, and eventually I got like I kind of wanted video games, but I had to get my grades up. So eventually I got to this demo called Burnout 3, and that's what I really want. Like I played, there was only one level, and I played it. And I'm like, I want this game. So it was gonna come out in when I was in eighth grade, and so in grade seven I didn't have that good grade. In fact, I had to go to summer school, and so grade eight, yeah, grade eight, I decided, I'm gonna work hard for this game. So there was like, think of this. This is my binder. No, just imagine this is my binder, and there was a collapsible thing you could take out, and so I took it out, and I took out a piece of paper, and I wrote "Burn Out 3." Just wrote "Burn Out 3" on this binder, and I put it back so it will be a reminder. Get good grades, and you'll probably be able to play the full game of this. And so, yeah, that was my goal for 4 months for the year. And so I kept working on like getting good grades and working on getting good grades all the time. And then eventually, like around November or December of grade eight, because I got so many A's and B's, eventually like around Christmas, I want to say, like I said I wanted to burn out 3, and so my dad went to Blockbuster back when that was a thing. He went to Blockbuster, and like I was thinking, he's gonna like get me to borrow the game, like get borrow the game and I'll get it back in a week or something. But no, he actually bought the full game, the entire game. I'm like, oh my god, like holy shit. So almost 3 months, and it paid off. And I'm like, yes, and I can keep doing this. And eventually, because of the good grades I eventually keep getting, I eventually got Need for Speed Underground 2, and then eventually I got Gran Turismo 4. Uh, in hindsight, the quality kind of went down. Not in terms of my grades are fine, but when you get to Burnout 3, which is like very fast, and then you get to Underground 2, which is fast, but not like kind of realistic, and then you get to Gran Turismo 4, it's like, uh, it's been about over a decade since I played Gran Turismo 4 because I played Need for Speed Underground 2 and Burnout 3 so much because they're so fast games that a driving simulator isn't that fast in comparison. Oh, I should probably play that again just to appreciate it a little bit more. Gran Turismo 4. Um, but yeah. So eventually I moved on to just borrowing video games from other people. Like eventually I still got like demos in magazines and video games, like full video games. And eventually I just borrowed video games from a friend, like Metal Gear Solid 2 or 3. Um, and I actually had really fond memories of those. And when I was in college, like high school, not so much. I didn't have much video games except the occasional demo. Um, but no, it was fun. Borrowing video games from other people. And eventually, when I was in college, I ended up like buying video games from PS2 that I've always wanted to get. Like Enter the Matrix. Always wanted to play Enter the Matrix. I've always wanted to. At that point in time, I heard about the bugginess, but I wanted to play it. And I ended up beating it 3 times. And I remember going on the forums and actually like saying that out loud, and they're like, "Why would you beat Enter the Matrix 3 times, let alone play it once?" I'm like, "Because I had no other games to play." And so college, I started buying a little bit more games, and then when I started working on top of the books I bought a whole bunch of games. Some of them were bad but on purpose, like Sonic 06. I bought like, oh god. So in terms of video games, I have a PS2, PS3, Xbox One, Xbox 360, and Game Boys. Oh, Nintendo 3DS, 3DS, and a Game Boy, which I will get to. The Game Boy Color I got when I was in the 6th grade on Christmas, and I got that and the Pokemon Silver, and I was so excited and disappointed whenever my parents like, okay, school first, we're gonna take away your Game Boy just to concentrate at school. It kind of backfired a bit because I got focused so much more on books. I was like, oh, well, he loves video games, sure, but you can't keep him away from books. At one point, my dad actually did take away my library books, but he forgot where he put them. And so we had overdue books a lot. We had, with those books he hid and forgot, we had an overdue fee about $40. So yeah, that was fun. But at the same time, he actually did take the PS2 controller away from me, so I wouldn't play it constantly because it would overshadow my schoolwork. Which, yeah, fine. I see. I understood even at the time, but I wanted to play it on the weekends. He took away my Game Boy, and you know, I still have it right here, except the battery for my Pokemon Silver doesn't work, so I can't save anymore. Um, yeah, but then again, I have a Nintendo 3DS, so I just want to go back in time and just tell my younger self, hey, it's going to be okay. You're not only going to have a ton of video games, but you're going to have a whole lot of books here. So, yeah, the book, like, I kept buying video games. When I started working, I just kept buying video games. Like, I bought an Xbox 360 and a PS3, which I have right here because I beat all the games I have for it, and also to make room for my other things. Um, I bought a whole bunch of things. I bought a whole bunch of games which I barely played up until I got an Xbox One. Is like, okay, we're gonna release the new Star Wars game. Like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna beat all these games until like I'll get an Xbox One, but I have to beat all these games. And it took me about 2 or 3.5 months to beat all the games I bought, which I didn't bother to start playing. So I started playing like Fable, the first 3 Fable games. I played Devil May Cry, the first 3, and it was fun. It was fun to do, and eventually I got again like gaming like, and eventually I ended up just live streaming things. Like the most recent, like as of right now, I'm trying to live stream Dark Souls, which I know is a hard game, and I've played it for 4 hours and I'm stuck in a couple of places, but I'll get to it again eventually. And on this channel, I just like I have a Twitch channel. If you want to watch, sure. I'll put it on anytime I want to live stream. I'll put it on Twitter or whatever it is to tell everybody, hey, I'm live streaming something, a video game, or like a live stream like on my laptop with a friend. But yeah. So I don't have much to say about me becoming a gamer. Like right now, I'm a casual gamer because work is getting in the way. Like I have work, so I don't play as often. I read a lot more books at work, so there's that. So yeah, I'm actually glad I have enough video games to play, and just to go. I'm sorry I don't have much to say about video games. I have a lot more to say about the books. Like, yeah, and I do actually have a special sentimentality for a certain game, which, like, again, my friend actually got me into a certain game series, and I remember this because he got me to borrow the first Mass Effect game, and I remember beating it, the last level. It took me 2 hours to beat the last level, and I remember when I was going to the library before I go to his house, it's like, okay, don't come over. I'm very, very tired. I'm like, okay, can I just drop the Mass Effect game at your house and get the other two? And he's like, come over right now. come over to my house right now. We are going to talk about this. And so eventually I went to his house. I gave him the first game, and then gave him back. Let me borrow the next two games. Ah, man, I wish I could have live stream all those. But eventually, like, there's one game that has sentimentality over, and it's not that great. Um, but this is the first game I beat for live streaming, and that was Mass Effect Andromeda. I can hear groans, and I hear whispers of pain listening to this, like looking at this right now. But it's not that great. But I think it's okay. Like, I'm not gonna give this away. I played worse games. Ride to Hell Much, although that was a bad game, but it stood on its own as a shitty game, and this comes off of a pretty damn good trilogy, and that's why I still have it. First Sentimentality, first game I ever beat live streaming. Disappointing, sure, but I don't think it was awful. I've heard things afterward, but whatever. To the point where I let my friend borrow that game, and he's like, I can't. Like the next week, I went to see him. He's like, I can't. I take it back. I can't do this. I can't deal with this. It was so bad that he didn't even want to finish it. I was like, oh god. I'm like, well, you know, whatever. It's a tough act to follow, like most games. And so, I still have a whole bunch of games that I want to beat. Some for PS2, some for Xbox One. But just have to make the time for it, and I will live stream a few things, And yeah, so that's my thing about video games. And I'm sorry that I didn't have enough to talk about in terms of video games. But as of right now, books have been a constant source in my life. So until I make another thing, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.